Hello and welcome to day 16 of a Sideways Live Podmas. We're nearly there. My name's Leanne.
My name's Al.
Welcome back. And welcome back to me. I feel so much better today. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, our listeners were really concerned. I got thousands of messages last night asking about you and just checking you were okay.
Yeah, it was my first cold since, and I'm showing off a bit now, but January 2020. And yeah, it wasn't pleasant, but it was quite swift.
Mm-hmm.
Like my bad days were like, Tuesday was like, ooh, Wednesday was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was quite bad. Mm-hmm. And then today's been fine. Yeah. I think tomorrow I'll be back to normal.
And I think hopefully I've swerved it. I don't know whether I have or not, but I felt a little bit like, sort of volume down to 6 rather than 10. But yeah, let's find out. So if you're lying in bed and you're ill and you're listening to this, get on the Instagram, tell us. Can't do anything about it, but we'll give you some sympathy.
Yeah, get yourself some hot lemon, ginger, honey, mix all that together.
Whiskey.
Bit of whiskey in your nighttime one, yeah.
Yeah.
Paracetamol. Lots of chilies.
Yeah, we made a curry, didn't we?
Mm.
That seemed to sort you out. It's a bit like, I suppose, being pregnant. Same sort of idea. If you go pregnant or you're cold, you get a curry and it just gets it out of you.
And we got those, those little they're not jalapenos. They're not jalapenos, but they're like whole chilies that are kind of pickled. We got a jar of them. I was just eating them like crisps. Can't really taste anything, can you?
No, you can't.
Anyway, that's not very interesting.
No, I think we've just wasted a minute and 51 seconds of your life there. But anyway, so what we're talking about today it's going back to this theme of things we wish we knew before we lived and worked abroad. I see now on day 16, I've got the hang of it now. I can say it. And so we've got one of our closest friends. It's weird, one of our newest and closest friends.
Yeah.
Andrew and Fani, they came to stay with us. We've talked about them a lot. I feel like we might be stalking them a little bit. We
just enjoy each other's company. I think you'll know this, you live and work abroad, you meet lots of people that you have fun with, you have a laugh with, you have good chats with. But it's rare to find, especially another couple, where you get on with them both. That's rare anyway.
Yeah.
Where you get on with both of them equally as well. And interchangeably.
Yeah.
I will happily sit down with Fani and stand up in the kitchen and cook some stuff and drink some wine and chat. And then equally happily sit with Andrew and chat football and life and podcasting. And you're the same, aren't you? It's just so nice to meet another couple that you have so much in common with. Not necessarily in terms of so much in common with in terms of similar backgrounds or experiences or even interests, I guess, but just in terms of values and viewpoints and how you navigate the world, I think that's really quite rare.
I think that's probably a really, really good tip, actually, when you are looking to make friends when you live and work abroad, is that generally your friends in your home country come from shared interests, whereas I think what Leanne's just hit on there perfectly is that your friends abroad kind of almost like shared values. And so, we sit there and we talk business with Andrew. We talk business with Fani. You talk cooking with Fani, but then you also talk cooking with Andrew because he's got restaurant background. And yeah, I think they're just really good, fun people to be.
Just nice people. And there's the type of people as well that there's no kind of sense of pressure or ceremony about, when they came to stay with us and it was you want to go for a nap, go and have a nap. If you want to fall asleep on the sofa outside, fall asleep on the sofa. You want to get in the hot tub, go for it. Yeah. You want to go for, and it was the same. We went to see them in Switzerland, If you want to go out into town, go for it. If you want to go and do this, go for it. It's just very relaxed. And I think that's quite rare to find people so soon within your relationship of knowing them that you feel completely comfortable with.
Yeah, and almost instantly we did. I was chuckling to myself there because I remember Andrew went to get the car out from his garage and I sat in the back, and then Fanny went to get in the back and she opened the door and I went boo at her. And obviously Fanny went, "What the fuck?" Shouted, and both me and Andrew, when she shut the door, me and Andrew were like, I spent most of the day watching, the Plant Man or the Plant Woman. The person who dresses up as a plant and then just crouches down in a pot and then jumps out at people.
No, but I hope they get punched in the fucking face.
No, it's so funny.
Why do they do that?
It's so funny. Oh my God. I've watched about 20 of them today. And there's one where there's one where a guy falls over. And he's trying to get away from the plant. And he's like a spider going, "Whoa, whoa." Carry on, Leah.
Oh, he's gone. But anyway, yes, the reason we are currently fangirling over Fani and Andrew is we have the first of their messages today for you. We have Andrew's message. And yeah, we'll should we listen and then we'll comment.
Yeah.
Hi Al, hi Leanne, and all the listeners. I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. I got a message from Leanne about what is the one thing that I wish I had known before living and working abroad. Mine isn't one particular piece of advice, but more of a mindset shift. I can't lay claim to it because I heard it from the great Tom Hanks, but unfortunately Mr. Hanks couldn't make it today. So you've got a slightly younger, equally as grey, and far less qualified delivery from me instead. I wish I had the mindset of this too shall pass. You feel bad, you feel angry, you feel let down, disappointed, yeah? This too shall pass. You feel great. You feel like you got everything together. People are understanding you, liking you, loving you. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, this too shall pass. Time is your friend. And if you're stuck for what to do, just wait it out. Let it ride. Time will help and it will heal. And that is what I wish I had known before moving away. Everything that's in your head probably is a lot bigger than it actually is in real life. Give it a bit of time. Let it ride a little bit. And before you know it, it will be gone. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Very wise words and delivered, I think, better than Tom Hanks.
As good as. Tom Hanks is a bit of a legend. I'm with Andrew on that one.
I thought he was going to say life is like a box of chocolates, and I was a bit like...
Life is like a box of chocolate.
Where was he from? The Caribbean?
Is that not very good?
No.
Oh, I thought that was all right.
Do it again.
No, you embarrass me now. You're so mean. Have you been drinking?
Maybe.
I went to the supermarket. I come back and I was just lost his shit.
I've never heard Forest Gump if he grew up in Jamaica and then lived for 20 years in Wales.
What did it sound Jamaican?
Wagwan.
Anyway, back to Andrew. Yeah, I think this is this is such a really, really important thing to talk about. We've been so honest. I hope we've been really honest on all of our episodes. And some of the times have been like, this is really shit. And like he says, this too shall pass. And I think this is just this is what you need to live and work abroad, because you're, number one, you're away from all your friends and family. Number two, just silly things like post, like mail. Leanne, someone sent Leanne stuff for her birthday and they gave it 2 weeks notice, and we were like, no, this is Croatia. Things are a little different here. You need to give it at least 4 weeks for it to arrive. Something's arrived today that I think is for your birthday. That's like 4 weeks behind. So there's just stuff, all the good stuff. Yes, it's great, but this too shall pass. All the bad stuff. Yes, it's great, but this too shall pass. And to be fair, actually, that's really good advice for life. I think it is. And I think the two things I like about it, and I remember this quote from Tom Hanks, I think. I'm not sure whether he said it during the pandemic. Maybe it's just before when it was replayed during the pandemic. But I remember lying on the bed, probably about 2:00 on a Sunday in Lithuania, like weekend 4 of lockdown. And just, coming across it, I'm like, this too shall pass. It might take a really, really long time, but this too it shall pass. And I think there's comfort in that. And I think as well, what I like about it is when you're in a bad place, I think there's this drive in us to feel like we need to fix it. And particularly people around as well feel like they need to fix it. We need to act. We need to sort it out. And sometimes there's not really much to be done. You just have to be patient and keep chipping away at what you're doing and have faith that it will pass and things will get better. And I think it kind of nurtures self-compassion. I think that this too shall pass. Stop being so hard on yourself. And I think as well, when things are good, remembering that this too shall pass. So let's enjoy this. Let's relish this moment and not stress too much about how long it's going to last, because it will pass. But just, enjoy the moment and make the most of every opportunity when things are good.
And I think like we were sitting out in the rain the other day. In the rain, it was 6 degrees. It was raining. And we were like, I can't even remember summer and how lovely summer was. And then you think back and you go, summer, this too shall pass. Winter, this too shall pass. I think that sounded like a stronger point in my head. But I think what I'm trying to say is that everything, time heals everything. And you'll look back on the times, and we've said this before, that some of the worst things that have happened to us have turned out to be the best things. Like when we went, not worst, but, we went across to the mainland in Thailand to renew our visa, and the offices were closed and took us like 4 hours to get there, and 2 boat rides and a plane and all whatever. And then we came back and found the hotel we were going to go, whether we've had the best experience in. I think everything, whether it's good or bad, this too shall pass. And I love that. I think it's really, really smart.
I do. And I think I know Andrew well enough to know that this isn't coming from a place of kind of like, I don't know, a bit like, oh, well, fuck it, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? The universe will decide it. It doesn't come from that place. It comes from a place of, as long as I'm doing everything I can be doing within my means, within my abilities, within the constraints that are currently on me, this too shall pass. I think it's just sensible, And like I said, it helps with self-compassion. It helps with a bit of, I guess, managing your own expectations. And as I said, relishing that moment when things are good, enjoy it. Don't stress about how long it's going to be around for. Or if you've just started living and working abroad and you're having the best time and those little demon thoughts are starting to creep into your mind of like, oh, it's not going to last forever and this might go wrong. And what about this? And what if I don't get accepted for that visa? And maybe. But, this too shall pass. If you're having a great time, just enjoy it. If you're having a shitty time, do what you can. Be kind to yourself. This too shall pass.
Lovely. Really, really good advice.
Thanks.
You should have a podcast or something.
I know, right? I should work with people or something. I should coach.
You should be a coach. Leanne is a coach, obviously. And if you want to buy her time, then you can go to buyleannestime.com. No, that doesn't exist. So I think that, are we going to do a doubler? Are we going to do Fani tomorrow? I
think we should.
So I think you remember from possibly a year ago now, Fani is a chef, worked for a Michelin star restaurant. She's incredible. We still have one of the dishes that she made us. We still have like every 2 weeks on a Saturday night.
Having it tomorrow night, yeah.
And it's a vegan dish, and you'll know, regular listeners will know that we
very off-brand.
Yeah, very very off-brand. You're quite right. But yeah, we have it every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks now. Fantastic chef, fantastic person, originally from Hungary, and just a genuinely lovely person with a bit of salt, and I like that.
A lot of salt. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things about her. She's a sweetheart, but she is savage, and she has the perfect mix of both. I like to think I've got a little bit of that balance, but I think sometimes I'm just mean. Whereas Fani seems to do with just this sweetness and heart that makes it work. And you'll hear tomorrow her message is both heartwarming and funny and a little bit salty.
Brilliant. Looking forward to it. Okay, so I think we still have one more spot left. So if you are interested in being on our podcast and telling us what you wish you knew before you lived and worked abroad, then go to Instagram and leave us a message. Just remember, Instagram only gives you a minute. So you're going to have to either be contrite. No, that's not the right word. short.
Concise.
Concise is the word. Or you can be contrite as well if you say something awful. So be concise or split it over 2 messages. Just bear in mind that 1 minute limit. If you don't want to be limited by that and you don't like Meta, then go and sell your soul to Google and use Gmail, asksidewayeslife@gmail.com, and you can send us an MP3 there.
Are we there? Are people feeling they need to sell their soul to use Google?
Just anything that goes through. I mean, I love Google. I'm a Google fanboy, but you got to understand that they read every single email that you send.
Oh, yeah.
And they tailor the adverts to you, which I quite like, because if I'm going to see an advert, I want to see an advert for something I want to buy, not an advert for, I don't know, cats. Do they run adverts for cats? Is the cat advisory board? Oh, hang on a minute. It's got to be the
There's
cat.
definitely ads for mushrooms.
Oh, do you know what they mean? We'll come back to mushrooms in a second. But if I ran something like the sort of the what's it called when you know in the US when you have like the government and then there's like the cigarette council that something the government they like
Lobby
is exactly it. So if I was to create a lobbying association for cat, this is so not worth it. If I create a lobbying association for cat, I would call it the Cat Advisory Trust, just so it could be the acronym could be CAT.
We went through all that to get
Just
there.
to get there.
Wow.
I was determined. I will just remember, Leanne, that with everything I say, this too shall pass.
This episode, it too shall pass.
So before that, we were talking about, I can't remember. Anyway, send us, we've got one more spot and it'll probably be filled tomorrow. So if you are interested, just send us a message. We'd love to feature you. And also just tell us a bit more about yourself, because you could be our next future best friends. Can you imagine that?
I'm sure you really want to be after this one, don't you?
There's plenty more about Cat Advisory Trust where that came from. Right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.